Once the plane hit, I remember calling out my mother's name. I felt like a child. I was scared because the building swayed to the left side and it felt like it was going to split in half. I went down the stairs with my friends Nancy and Arlene. We were exiting the 64th floor, so now we all started going down the stairs. We reached the first floor, which would be the mezzanine level. I held Nancy's hand, Nancy held Arlene's hand as we were against the wall, and then we had to go one at a time down the escalators from the mezzanine to the lobby. And I went through the revolving doors into the shopping mall area. And that's when everything just happened, which was the South Tower starting to collapse. All I got to see was Nancy with her hands up in the air, like if a bomb was going off behind her. I believe she was trying to tell me, help me. And they just wiped. Everything went black behind me. So I said, this is coming towards me, I gotta turn around. As I turned around, I got thrown on my knees. And then all I kept saying was, please God, make it quick. I didn't think I had a chance. I thought any minute the ceiling was gonna collapse on top of me. And then I thought of my husband. Happiest day was my wedding. I actually was marrying the man of my dream that I had waited so long. We used to thank God for putting us together, like fate brought us together. He wanted us together. He was proud of what he did. He loved his job. He was a paramedic for the fire department. At that trip, we ended up meeting 2 other couples. And everyone was saying what they did for a living. I was working for the Tunnel, Bridges, and Terminals Department on the North Tower, which is One World Trade Center. I asked me to think how long I've been working there, and I said, oh, I was there since '85, and they said, oh, so you were there for the '93 bombing. How was that? So they brought up the '93 bombing. So my husband was like, oh, I didn't know her then, but my baby works there now, and if something was to happen in that building, I'll be the first one there to go get her. And when we went back to the room in the hotel, I said to him, if something was to happen again, don't come looking for me. As I said, there's 3 stairs and we don't know where those stairs will lead you. So I'm not gonna wait for you on the 64th floor until you come look for me. And I told him, you stay out doing your job, like away from danger, like you're taught. And I promise you I'll make it out no matter what happens again in that building, because someone who loves me will be waiting for me out there. So I promise you I'm gonna make it out no matter what. He says, okay, honey, I promise I'll wait for you outside. When I got thrown on the floor on my knees, all I thought was that conversation that took place. And I said, I gotta get the courage to get back up. I can't stay here. And so I felt my heart beating so hard that I said, oh, I'm still alive. Once I was out on the street, I was trying to make sense as I came out because the streets were empty. There was nobody there. I had to get a message to my husband that I'm okay, that I made it out. And so that we could find each other like we had promised on that conversation we had. So I went to the hospital thinking if I go to the hospital and see an ambulance, I'll get a message to him through the ambulance like he told me. Unfortunately, the guy came in and said we couldn't get in touch with her husband, but we got in touch with your sister and she was on her way, to the hospital. I still was having hope at the time because I said, maybe he's busy. Maybe he can't answer the phone. Not losing hope. We went to my sister's place. When I got there again, I asked, has he called? And they said, no, he hasn't called. Like, okay. But now it's maybe about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I'm like, then 6 o'clock came. But I knew Carlos. He will always call me from work in between jobs, at work. I'm like, aren't you busy? He's like, I'm not supposed to be using the phone in the hospital, but I'm calling you from the hospital. But he will always find the time to call during the day. And after that, I just waited for the hours. 7 o'clock came, 8 o'clock, no call, nothing. I started losing hope. And because all those hours have passed, and now it's like daytime at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, where is he? Like, I know it was chaotic, but still, he would have called. So I knew something was wrong. His co-worker, Edith, his partner, she had called me, and she said, doesn't look good. We can't find him. When I got the call, I just wanted to scream. I was so angry at my husband because I was like, did he come in to look for me? Like, I told him not to because people started assuming that because another partner, not Edith, but another partner that worked with him had told his family, like, oh, we got there and he went in and ran into the buildings, and they assumed that that's the first thing he went to do, to look for me. And so they were thinking that that's what he did when he arrived to the Trade Center. And so I was angry and started believing. I'm like, but we had this whole conversation. We had this plan. Like, why would he go? He couldn't find me. I told him I wasn't going to wait for him on the 64th floor. We could get lost. There's 3 stairwells. You don't know where it's going to lead you, and switching from one stair to the other. So I was starting to get angry at him, saying, you didn't keep your promise. Like, you had to be staying out doing your job. I made it out. Like, I picked myself up the first time I got thrown. And so Edith comes over and says, I got to show you something. She comes with the magazine from Newsweek. Newsweek had done an extra edition and came out 3 days after 9/11. And so she said, I got 3 copies. I went crazy looking for it all over so that to make sure that you have, your copies. She had bought 3 copies and brought them over to me. She goes, look, he was doing his job. They show Carlos attending someone outside of the Trade Center. And he goes, he was doing his job, and I felt so bad. I remember sitting in my sister's sofa in the living room, and she had a picture of Carlos by her TV stand. And I grabbed that little frame, and I just started crying over it and saying, I'm so sorry, honey, for not believing in you. You were out there saving lives. You did keep your promise.